Hello guys, I just want to go over Florentia and kind of why she's very important for the Empire faction and why she's important for Season 6. Um, and first we'll start with Imperial Conquest. This is an amazing talent. The first part is when her HP is like full, all her soldier stats, excluding HP, are increased by 10%. This is super important, especially for her because her HP is garbage. I tried to awaken her, and without her class mastery, I really can't do it because burn one shots me because I just don't have the HP to survive. I could just like simply go over to this side and turn her back into this, but I don't want to do that. So I'm just gonna wait. That's why this first part of her talent is so important. It basically keeps her alive. That's why you get kind of have to build her with HP in mind because it's such a weak stat for her. But because of this, it kind of mitigates that weakness. And more importantly, it allows her to function as a semi DPS in battle because her um, soldiers really don't get that much attack. They get a lot of HP, but they don't get much attack. But that changes once her talent kicks in. So she's able to take a little bit of damage and dish out damage. So we'll talk about her equipment later on, but you have to build it with HP in mind. So this part of her talent is really good. Now the second part of her talent is important for me, and in turn will be important for you guys when you start building Hilda up, her sister, from the game. At the start of every battle, you get these like battle strategies, these tokens, and after taking action, if you have a fusion power buff, you gain like 2 more. But this increases with her star level. That's why I'm trying to like roll for more stars to put on her, because the higher her star level goes up, it's kind of like Weiler. The better he gets. Like you need Weiler at 6 stars for him to perform well. And it's kind of the same with her. It is the same with her. It's exactly the same. In order for her to fully be utilized in battle, she needs to be at 6 stars. But once those tokens kick in, she literally gets like 2 turns every like engagement. You can stack up to 10, so you start at 6 stars. You kind of start cycling through those. You get so much that you really want to burn them off. And you can do 3 things with them. You can literally increase your allies move by 2 squares with rush. Sunstrike is something that everybody wants to do. You know, you get act again, you basically get the Liana effect, and you get to do that while doing another action, which makes her like super good. That's why she's so dominant in Season 6. Once the single target meta comes back, she really becomes important because you want your SP Elwyn, or you want your SP Sigma, or you want your Yulia or Zerda to attack again. And this gives you the option to do that, because sometimes with the single target strategy, you need to create a situation where you can hit the tank twice and kill it. You won't kill Lannius in 1 hit, but 2 hits you can. 2 hits you can kill Juggler. So her and Lyanna and Weiler make that possible. So you're gonna see a lot of her, Weiler, and Lyanna in Season 6. So this is why I want her so badly. I really want to like play Empire in Season 6. I really don't like playing other factions. I am building Yulia, but I do so begrudgingly. I just don't really like her, but I really love this character. And battle support is really cool because it restores HP to the soldiers. Like, this is really good for like characters who kind of like have the battle animation where they stand in one place and their soldiers go forward, like Bernhard and Vargas. She's really built for Empire because a lot of even your boy Let me see. What's his name? Where is he at? Um, Even him and where's the other guy at? And Emmerich. Their animation is such that their soldiers do most of the work, so they burn out of soldiers really quick. So she's able to like restore their HP, which is really good. And because of that, she can really maintain a lot of sustain on the battlefield. I mean, I'm so glad they made Florentia. It makes me want to play Empire again so much. That's why I'm going to take my time and build her. She's going to 6 stars. I usually say that about certain units, then I get bored and I don't take them to 6 stars. But I'm taking her to 6 stars because she is that good. I'm seriously considering Weiler too. But I definitely want her and Liana and Rosenseal because they're such a great healer combo. But as for her skills, she has like a bunch of skills that are really good. We'll go over the ones that are pretty crappy. And that's Endure, which means when she enters battle, her defense increases by 7. I can see sometimes where you might want to use that, but I never will. And as far as Tactician goes, she has the Iron Wall skill. Excuse me. This is good for some units, but she's not a tank. She really can't take advantage of this. Like something like Amelia or Landis could use this a lot better than her. But she really can't use it. I mean, if you consider her talent where she raises the stats of her soldiers, maybe. But she has so many options that are better that you would never use this. Unless you're like being some like type of galaxy brain strategy, then you might use this. But she comes with shield, which is really good, which stops healing negation and it raises your defense and you're immune to defense and magic defense reduction, which is pretty good. And increases your unit defense by 20%. So if you don't carry a faction buff on Vargas, then she can just drop this down. And Vargas can do work, so she's a real good support for Vargas. I mean, she's a real good support for any of my Empire units. I mean, she just like fits in so many holes, so many gaps in Empire. It's ridiculous that they made this character. It's one of the reasons why Empire becomes viable in next season. Rosenseal and this chick make Empire like start to shine. Then Hilda comes, then SP Elwyn comes, and it's like, yeah, I'm kind of more excited to play Langrisser because of that. Some people may not be because their faction didn't get as much work as Empire, but I don't care. So Shield is like a super good skill. Mass attack. This is insane. She gets mass attack. This is like a clutch skill because sometimes in bad pick you might lose a faction buff. But this is one of the most important stats you can raise, like your attack and for your DPS. So if you get like totally shanked on your band pick, you can just bring this, so you can actually have some options in order to attack. Because like if you bring, say like Zerda or who's a good Mystery Knight without an attack buff, it's going to be kind of hard to one-shot or even get close to killing some of these tanks now. So mass attack on any unit is good. Like that's one of the reasons why people use Amilda and what's her name, and Crest, because they can bring mass attack, which supplements a faction buff. So the fact that she got this skill is pretty insane to me. And then she gets a strategic regroup. This is like her mass heal skill, but it's like a 2-turn cooldown, which I'm not a big fan of, but I guess because they have the extra effect that after battle you like restore 30% of the HP of your soldiers. That is really good. When you combine her and Rosenseal, it's kind of like back in the day when you had Tiaris and Liana. It's just for Empire, which is so nuts. I mean, this is a stupid effect. It's really good. Because when you combine this with Rosenseal, I mean, your units are like literally topped off most of the time. And even though this cooldown is 2 rounds, because of the sustain, it's not so bad. If you can position your units properly and take advantage of certain passive, this is pretty manageable. Really is. And this is like the 1-cost skill you would bring. This is why those two 1-cost skills are like none effect. Like when enemies die, you gain 1 battle strategy, which is insane. This, you can increase your battle strategies outside of just like turn manipulation, and you increase all stats, excluding HP of all friendly units, soldiers by 2%. And this cannot be dispelled, and it cannot be immunized against. That's insane. And you can increase stats up to 10%. That's dumb. This chick is really great. I mean, especially for Empire. Empire needs like these like support skills that allow you to stretch like the strategy of what you're trying to do. Like when I started using her after maxing out her excuse me, when I start maxing out her class mastery and all that, I'm gonna bring this skill in a lot of my runs, especially when I do timeless trial, because this is like a super good skill. I'll probably just bring this, her generic heal skill, and her mass heal skill, and that'll probably be enough, because this is super insane. Because once Leon starts killing stuff, all my units get boosted. That's dumb. This is super good. I'm really shocked that they made a skill like that. And she even gets like mass resist. She gets mass resist and mass attack, which is like crazy. Like, because certain maps you want to be immune to stun and unbuffable and mobility reduction. So this is incredible. And if I ever use her with Bozel, you can raise like their magic defense, so you don't need a faction buff on them. So Bozel can just bring like any set of skills he wants. Him and Listel, who really rely on their magic defense in order to increase their intelligence. Mass resist is good in PvP in general. So the fact that she got these 2 skills is like crazy. And then she gets this chaotic strategy, which directly deals 0.25 magic damage to the enemy on the battlefield. It dispels 2 buffs and renders their soldiers unable to attack for 1 turn. So this is like a true PvP skill. And the cooldown is only 2 rounds, which is really good. And the range is 3 blocks, which is really good. That's really good. Chaotic strategy is really good. It's a real clutch skill. It has limited use in PvE because you pretty much want to bring this skill in PvE content. You want to kill off mobs and like increase your stats, or you want to bring a heal skill in our 3-cost skill. But this chaotic strategy has a lot of uses. I'm surprised they constructed her so well. I'm really excited about this character. I can't believe they made her so good. Let me see where info. Oh, I'm missing 1 skill right here. And this is her 3-cost skill. A lot of people are excited about this. I'm excited about it too, but I don't think this is like make or break for her. This is definitely a PvP skill, and you should use it. But you don't always have to carry it. You don't always have to carry Resounding Might. You may want to carry something else. You may want to carry Mass Attack, or you may want to carry Mass Resist. You don't always have to carry Resounding Might. It's not a like must-have skill. Even for PvP, it's not a must-have skill. It's really great, but it's not a must-have skill. You don't have to always bring it. But it does grant like one battle strategy and attacks all enemies in 3 straight lines, dealing 0.3 AoE damage, which is really good. and afflicting them with one random debuff, which is really good. Restores HP of multiple friendly units within range equal, to 3 times the caster's int, and dispels one debuff. If the skill hits 2 or more enemies, grant 1 additional battle strategy after battle. This is how you quickly get her to use her again skill. That's why Florentia is pretty good in rush strategies, where all you have to do is position her in a place where she can hit 2 enemies and you can again somebody on the first turn, which is pretty good. It really is good. I mean, but it's not like you have to always carry it. It depends on what strategy you're running with her, but it's a really powerful skill. I'm not taking anything from it. I'm just saying she's not a one-trick pony where you have to constantly rely on this 3 cost in order to make her work, because there's just so much more she can do. But as far as her soldiers, she has a couple of options, but I think it's best to go with like the defensive soldiers. Like Bishops is really good because it gives her this. This is more important to me. I mean, the healing is good, but the fact that you can increase this soldier increases his defense, and we look at his HP stats and his defense and magic defense stats. He's pretty tanky. This is another good soldier. The Exorcist, because you don't really need her soldiers to attack as much as you need them to protect her, to work with her talent. But overall, I think this is her best soldier because she's a healer, and this soldier dispels debuffs. That's why I had to build Forest Priest now. I'm actually gonna have to build this troop and this troop. This troop is already max level, but it's not her best troop. And Sky Archer is alright when you need to fly. I have this troop maxed out too, but it's not her best troop. Forest Priest is her best troop. Exorcist is another top tier troop because it's just a meat wall. Exorcists are good meat walls. They're good for taking damage. They have like a high HP. Like his HP is pretty good for a healing type class. It's decent, but he comes with like 594, and he's not even level 10. This actually goes up, and this one allows her to dispel debuffs. So these 3 units are her best troops. Sky Archer is like if you want her to float, like if you go on the floating maps. And Elf Master, it's whatever. Amazon Champion is no good. I would say out of all her soldiers, these 3 are the best. But I would prioritize Forest Priest because of the dispelling aspect, because debuffs are still part of the meta. They're not going away. And it increases her healing as well. So these 3 soldiers are her best soldier. People look down on Exorcist, but they're actually a really good soldier, especially when you look at her talent. This is like one of her best soldiers. If you don't want her to attack or anything, and you just want her to survive, this is her best soldier. Exorcist is her best soldier for survival. This is her best soldier for doing her job. And this is like a balance between these 2 soldiers. He can't dispel like this guy, and he can't take as much damage as this guy, but he does increase your healing, and he does take a little bit of damage. So there's a lot to consider in that. But I'm surprised that this soldier has more defense, even though he does increase your defense when your HP is up. I'm still shocked that the soldier gets more defense. That's insane. I mean, that's kind of crazy, but it's whatever. It's whatever. I mean, this soldier is still frail. I mean, if you look at my Holy and Demon training field, my HP is max on my troops. My HP and my attack are max. So the only thing I need to actually improve is my defense. and that's like at 50. So once I start maxing out my defense, this soldier will be more reliable, and more importantly, this soldier will be super reliable. But I think I'm kind of done with that because there's only 3 soldiers you should be using with Florentia, and these are the 3. I'm probably going to have to use wizards because I don't have a good enough soldier, but that's fine. It's okay. And as far as her equipment goes, this isn't her equipment. I just used this to clear her Gate of Fates. Where is her wand at? This is her best weapon, Red Moon, because it gives her intelligence and HP, which she sorely needs. You can use Blue Moon, and if you have Blue Moon, that's fine. But you need HP with Florentia. That's why Tenyo's robe is her best armor. Where's my Tenyo's robe? Where? I had a Tenyo's robe. Oh, there it goes. This is her best armor right here. Her best accessory is actually the they only have one. Where is it at? Swordsmith metal. It's actually swordsmith metal. This is her best accessory, hands down. Her second best accessory is probably the what's it called, the meditation ring. But hands down, this is her best piece of equipment because you don't want her to get silenced, and fixed damage will kill her because she has such low HP. So swordsmith's metal is the best. I wish I had more, but I'm probably not going to use burn anymore. So I'm thinking about lifting this off of him. I might give it to Florentia because this is really her best accessory. It's the best piece of equipment you can give her in the accessory slot. It just does so much for her. So it stops her from being silenced. It stops her from getting hit by fixed damage in all stats 5, which layers on her talent. And of course her best headgear is Tenyo's headdress because it gives her more HP. I'm probably going to take this one from Licorice since I'm not using her in PvP anymore. Or I might take it from Tierra since I'm definitely not going to use her in PvP anymore. So I might take it from Tierra's. But that's her best headgear, hands down. Hands down. There's nothing really else to use. So I'm gonna have to make that tough choice, and one of these guys are gonna lose their Tenyo's headdress. Both of them probably gonna use their Tenyo's headdress if I can't get more, because I have Rosenseal coming. So both of them are probably gonna lose this piece of equipment because it's her best in slot equipment. She has like really specific equipment that's best in slot because of her stat spread. You can't be as versatile as other people and use different pieces of equipment. Like some people say you can use this or that. No, you can't. You really can't, because she's frail. She's super frail. In order to make her not frail, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices. Where's my what headgear was I using on her before I switched it off? I think it was a Charon. Was I using Charon? Yeah, I think I was using a Charon. It kind of doesn't matter. I'll just we'll just put a Frostfire Crown on her. We can use Frostfire Crown. We can toss that on her. Yeah, we'll toss Frostfire Crown on her. Heck, we'll even toss this on her. I got a Yggdrasil Reef I'm not using right now. And, yeah. Where is it at? And we'll just put this Holy Ring. But it's probably going to get replaced with Swordsmith Metal because that's just her best piece of equipment. Because fixed damage will just ruin her. That's one of the things you have to worry about. Fixed damage will get past her talent, and they'll just kill my unit, and they'll kill your unit too with fixed damage. if worse comes to worse, it's probably better to put a meditation ring on her, because fixed damage will destroy her because her HP is so low. That's why you have to use equipment that raises her HP. Like this will give her HP, this will increase her HP, and Tinio's headdress will increase her HP, and swordsmith metal will increase her stats as well, which will include HP. So that's something to think about. I mean, she's a pretty powerful unit, and she really expands the range of what Empire can do. And when Rosenseal comes out, it further expands the range of what Empire can do. So I'm really excited about this character. I think she's one of the best characters to come out in the last couple of months. I've seen the other characters that have come out on the C server, the Southeast Asian server, and they're good. They're really good, but they don't interest me as much as Florentia. Rosenseal does. Clotaire is really good. I think Clotaire has a lot of potential. Hilda is good. There's nothing to really be said about Hilda. She's just good. She's basically Landius for Empire and for Strategic Masters and for Tensei Reincarnation. I mean, Florentia and her share the same factions, oddly enough. So there's a lot of good characters that are coming out, but I think she stands out because I think the devs were actually thinking for once on what these three factions needed from a healer. They needed somebody who can do a little bit of what all the best healers do. Like she has like a skill that allows you to recover HP at the end of every turn. She has an again skill. She increases mobility. She heals and attacks at the same time. She does a lot of stuff. The problem is she can't do all of it at once, so you have to come in with a strategy in mind. Or if you want to rush, then you have to use the AoE skill. If you want to do run support, you're going to have to use the basic heal skill. Some people don't even bring this, and that's fine. And the last thing we'll cover is what enchant should you use on her. I think Clocks is best. You can actually use Crystal if you want to, but I don't think that's a good idea because he actually has attacking potential. Maybe you want to use the magic. You could use magic, but I don't think magic is good. I think her best enchant is Clock, because you actually want to clock that skill, that AoE skill that everybody talks about. You really want that to go off more than once, and the cooldown is just too long for PvP. And I think the second best is Full Moon. This is pretty good because you want her HP topped off most of the time, so you'll have this constantly being implemented. So I think those are the best enchants you can give her, but it's going to take some time for me to build Florentia, and once I start really feeling her out, I have a better understanding of her. But if you like my content, hit the like, share, subscribe button, and I'll get back to you. You have a great day, and goodbye.